Hi everyone, I'm sorry, car share. I really tried to do a video from my office so that you didn't have to deal with the car noise, but it just didn't happen and I feel awful, but I really wanted to share something. And so as we're getting stuck in traffic together, I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to talk to you. Given the intense traffic here you go. You and I, we're gonna move very slowly. So this morning I shared a post. Yesterday I did a very powerful session with one of my clients, and it was a session of meditation, actually meditation that I intended on doing with THC cacao, which is one of my inventions. Can't share too much about it here online, but basically I really wanted to go deep into the subconscious and let go of things that just keep us a little bit more rooted in fear sometimes when we're trying to control, which we all do, and it's normal to wanting to control our feelings, how we act or react. And sometimes when we lose control we feel awful, right? Because like, oh, I got so upset and angry and I don't want to feel that way. But the truth is we need to feel in a certain way. So when I did the meditation with my clients, we really dove deep into this different space and dimension. And actually she said that after she felt really, really relaxed, which she didn't expect, but of course the meditation did help, and it did, because although it was work and it was all about realigning and connecting to the ancestry, and we're gonna do more of that work because it's needed, it's also a deep dive into letting go of what keeps us anxious and overworked in our minds, like with our thoughts. So of course she felt relaxed and I also felt it. And with the meditation, which we didn't manage to do with the cacao, but we had a pendulum, and the pendulum was kind of guiding us as to where we would get answers. Because working with pendulum is amazing. Like it really connects to the energetics. And I think crystals, because they have such a deep personality and connection to the earth and to the polarities of the earth, they can transcend time and space in a way that we can if we pay attention to it and we do our quantum leaping work, but they naturally do it because they are connected to nature. And really the concept of time and space is very much a human thing. It's not really, I guess it's what we have created to deal with what we are existing in, right? Like you want to know how old we are and how long we've been here for, and we are looking at this with numbers and measurables, but nature looks at it from a cycle, and so everything in nature has a vibration, has an energy, has a frequency, and those frequencies are powerful. So we are so blessed to really understand these things. And of course these things in the past would be looked at as witchcraft, which is why in my post I said I was channeling my good witch, because I truly feel like that way, like this ancient spirit that has dealt with nature and magic, and I don't want to overthink any of this, because when I do I feel a bit awkward but in truth it just feels natural. And it did scare me a little, because actually the way that I connected to the frequency and the energy that were in the room, that were through the crystals, I got a bit spooked, because they were very powerful. So last night I was just really praying and be like, okay, God, just protect me. And today, as I was getting ready to wanting to record a video, I had this feather, white feather, fall on the windowsill of my office. And as I looked at it, and I was like, thank you. I needed to see that. I needed to know if the wind took it away. So it was really well timed. It was perfect timing. I just looked by chance and I see this beautiful white feather. I'm like, okay. And these signs, we can miss them, and so I'm glad that I didn't miss them and that I actually paid attention. And this month in particular, has been very similar to how I felt in December. And then I realized December was winter solstice. We're changing and shifting, and now we are going through summer solstice. I'm starting my new cycle on the 23rd, so 2 days after summer solstice begin, and I've been feeling really wow. And I didn't time my herbal intake with Dr. Morse's herbs at all. I didn't even think, but I took them now, and as I mentioned the other day in my video, they have such a powerful way to open you up, and this is what's happening. So my hormones have been a little bit all over the place. I've been feeling a little bit uneasy in my body. I've been hungry for sweet things like dried fruit. So today I actually gifted the dried fruit to my friends at the vet cleaning downstairs. I was like, okay, Vera and Gabi, you take those, because I have been overeating the stuff like dates and white mulberries. I was like, I can't have this around. I have to just let it go, release. Just because I've been craving them. So I'd rather eat actually fresh fruit. Also because, as you guys know, I have a history of poor metabolic health with diabetes, and I just, as much as those are healthy, they're not candy and stuff, I have to be mindful of what I eat, because my body is just not apt to dealing with a lot of insulin. And I know as I get, I'm 1 week from, a few days from my cycle, my body needs that extra sugar because of progesterone to keep me grounded and happy. I've been feeling anxious and I've been feeling really unsettled, and I need to just kind of find my grounding, but also feel good with the food that I'm having. Because if I don't feel good with the food I'm having, if I don't feel good in my body, I can't focus. And there is so much I need to do, and I want to do, and I want to be productive. And I've actually also realized that I've been in a state, as I mentioned the other day, right? I was making decisions out of survival mode, and that's not a good way to be. I had to reset. I was like, I'm gonna let go of this, and this, and just focus on this and this and this, because ultimately my role on this planet is to be of service to other women. And to do that, I need to be of service to myself. I have projects in mind. I want to write books. I want to do things that are meaningful, that matter, they're powerful. I cannot do shit if I'm all over the place and I'm scattered. So I need to just scale back and focus. And this is what I'm doing, focusing. So I have, since yesterday with that beautiful meditation, as I was helping my client and getting these messages, I got a little bit afraid because the connection with spirit was so strong. But I actually also got a download like, this is exactly how you're going to help your clients. Use these tools because they need it and you can use them. You know how to. You have to remember, but you know how to. I'm like, okay. Because everything I was doing with her, I didn't prepare. I didn't look at online. I didn't do a course for. It naturally downloaded onto me. I was like, what am I going to do to help her? And this came to me. I always let this happen. Even with my yoga classes, I don't actually prepare them beforehand. I just naturally create them as I'm in the space. I read the room, I see the energy. I also have to understand the people that are there with me, what levels they're on, what they need. I feel it, and then I create it. And I create the flow, and I create the words come to me. I've always been that way. And I remember in London, actually the owner of the studio at Hardcore she always said like that's what she loved most about the classes. That were unique, and she just felt that I was just able to read the room and use beautiful words, and I never prepared anything in advance aside from looking at, for example, what kind of moon phase we were in and what energy that was there, because that helps you a lot to kind of get into that. So it is powerful, and I'm grateful that I have these gifts, because you could just go through life with just existing. And I honestly, guys, I'm at a point in my life where that is just not enough anymore for me. And because of that, a lot of stuff is changing in my life. And in a way, there are two things that are happening. In a way, I feel like this liberation from constrictions, restrictions, expectations. The other side is dealing with people in my life that want to be supportive, but they really just can't, because they're stuck in fear themselves. And when that happens, you just can't. They can't support you. They can't be there for you. They can't understand you fully. So as much as they want to be kind and understanding, they're living the same paradigm that they always live, that they don't understand what it means to be in a shift that is so outrageous for others, right? And of course, I still have to exist in a world where certain things are necessary, but I don't mind, because I just feel that regardless everything that is happening, regardless of the challenges, regardless of the personal life shifts, anything, it is a positive thing that is happening for me, that I am going through some changes, that I am I'm still working with my beautiful dark night of the soul, who kicked my ass from 2019. It actually started in 2016, but I kind of shoved it to the side, which is why I'm such a big spokesperson of the dark night of the soul and really go deep into this. And I don't give it enough airtime, but truly, you have to pay attention to this beautiful thing that will push you to the limit, because the moment you work with it, magic can happen. Magic doesn't happen in comfort. It happens with discomfort, it happens with change, it happens with movement, it happens with stepping out of where you feel you exist. It is necessary to feel that strength that comes with being aware of how do you feel when you're alone. Do you feel lonely? If that's the case, where does that loneliness come from? How does it feel to not have a relationship? How does it feel not to feel loved? How do you love yourself? And if you do, what does that mean? Do you feel like you are owning your gifts? Do you need somebody there to always assure you and reassure you? Or can you stand on your 2 feet? Do you like your own company? And I'm going to be completely transparent and honest here. This month, because of the herbs, because of all the cleansing, because of all the things, the organs that have been opened up by the herbs, my hormones, I have struggled to be still, which is why the message for me on Sunday, when I actually found a bit of stillness at my friend's house, was reconnect and reground and reset and start from scratch. And I was like, hey, this is something powerful. I need to listen to this, and it's completely okay. It's good. It's good to listen to this. It's good to feel this way. It's good to take the time. It's perfect. This is exactly what I need. And I have to, because I'm still quite hormonal, I've been feeling quite anxious, and I think Marley has been feeling me quite a lot. She's like, she feels a little sad, and I need to. Yesterday when we went to the studio, actually, she had a moment where she was just going crazy and she was happy, and now we're going back to the farm so she can play with her friends, and I think she'll feel happy. But I was like, oh no, Marley, I'm sorry, Mommy's feeling a little bit unsettled, but I love you, and she has been giving me so many kisses, and she's just the best angel. And I have to just sit back and actually say it's okay to have some quiet time and be productive in this. I am reading my book. I haven't been productive at all with the book, and I need to because I want to. So stepping back, and I'm like, okay, what are we going to do to make this happen? What are we going to channel ourselves into? What are we going to dive into? And so I need a bit of structure, and I need a bit of time to do it, and I need to feel. And I know that until next week I won't really be doing that, because as I am going through the beginning of my cycle, it's just not a good time to create. But I am planning, and from next week, from day 2 of my cycle, I will be much better. So from Monday onwards, I'll be much more settled. I will feel better. I will be more grounded. I will go back into a routine. I've also been eating out quite a bit, and that is not good for me ever, because the oils and the things, and I don't eat that way. And I have to just be like, oh no, back to my salads and what I create. I don't put anything. Back to my, fruit in the morning. So scaling back a little bit and trying to find a rhythm that is good for me. So it takes a minute, it takes a bit of time, it takes a moment to just feel connected. And I wanted to share this because many things are coming, and I want to share them with you. And if you are in Portugal, if you're in Porto or Braga, and you want to work with me, you want to come to my events, be in touch with me. Just get in touch with me and we'll chat. If you are in another country and want to work with me, I also do work online, so we can definitely talk. And I will be organizing retreats as well, dedicated to women. I have been hesitant in the past to do that because I felt like I didn't want to discriminate against men. And as much as I have a lot of wonderful male friends that need the support, I am catered to working with women much more, because the transitions I'm going through, the energetics that I'm working from, the lineage healing I'm doing is for women. And so trying to minimize this, to make it more open, to be more inclusive I can't do that, because that's not my role, it's not my job at this point in time. It's for women, and it's for women that are ready to do the work. If you are someone that is just needing to go on a holiday and with a partner, that's not for you. If you want to do your work and you want to realign and you want to connect, it's for you. If you want to come with your friends who are also women and find a space of womanhood together, and it's not the hippie stuff at all. It's practical, it's spiritual, yes, it's deep work, but it's also real, because we still live in a very real world, in a material world, where most of us exist in careers that demand us to be more grounded, but we can be grounded with softness. How do we do that? So I had to learn to navigate all this, especially because most of my life I lived in my masculine. I lived in that fighting mode, to be heard and seen, to prove myself. And I don't feel like I need to do that anymore. Now I can be a little softer. I can, no, don't get me wrong, I don't not get upset or, be like, hey. But I allow myself to acknowledge me. I don't need anybody to acknowledge me. I don't need anybody to understand me. I don't need anybody to take the time and feel. I need to do this for myself. And this is what I teach my clients. You have to learn to put you on a pedestal, talking to the crowd and hearing yourself. Then others that are meant to hear you will hear you. And not because we need to be egotistical, we need to be self-centered, we need to be narcissistic. That's not it. I think we need to step away from this point where if we put ourselves in the center of something, it's a negative thing. We're not feeding the ego, we are feeding our energetics. We have to understand that unless you love yourself enough to wanting to see yourself in a place of empowerment, you can't expect others to wanting to see you that way. Because if you don't want to see yourself that way, others will not see you that way. We are getting back what we put out there, including subliminally how we look at ourselves. So it's empowering to have this knowledge. It's empowering to have this awareness. I cannot stress this enough, guys. share this. So please, if you are in Portugal and want to work with me, get in touch. If you're in Porto is not far. I will be doing events that are mostly in Braga, because that's where I'm based most of the time now, and maybe a little bit at Ecodharma if it's possible, in my beautiful farm for now. I will be looking at other venues as well to be more branched out. I will also, I will see. I have to meditate on this and see what I'm guided to. Online, I love to work online. This is something, now I do it every month with my inner circle. We have these beautiful lessons and teachings, and I really hope that people are getting out the best they can from it. This month I've even been sharing a lot of car shares of videos because I've been feeling so overwhelmed, and I really don't want to share BS. If I'm not in a good place, I'm not just gonna say, hey, this is not why I have my social media. This is not why I share. If I need a moment of retrieving because I'm really just not in a place of sharing because I'm feeling like crap, I'm not gonna share because I don't want to bring your mood down. I want you guys to feel that I'm authentic with you, you know? So be in touch with me. Let's work together. Ask me questions, please. Ask me questions. Give me feedback. Tell me what you are looking for so that I can truly get directions on what to do to serve you. Also, if you are in Porto or Braga, I do a yoga brunch once a month at Gao, which is a beautiful restaurant in Matosinhos, Porto. And the yoga brunch is, honestly, I don't make money from it at all. Because driving there between the tolls and the petrol, nothing. At my time, I don't make anything from it. But I love it because it's about community creation. When we come together, we flow together, and then we eat together. It's fun, and people meet and they talk and they get to know each other. And I met some amazing people. Like last weekend, there was a gentleman that came over, and I met his wife who came after just for food. But he was sharing how, you know, they moved from San Francisco here, and they are in their 60s, and he does a bit of yoga, and how, you know, their career and their life, and how they really wanted to move from the US. Like, it's nice to meet people that have so many different experiences and talk to them more and more. And this gentleman is really lovely and fabulous. I love that he likes to chat and speak. I haven't given him enough time, but maybe I'll catch up with them on this weekend because I'll be in Porto. And catching up with friends and trying to really just create a supportive community because it's so needed. We all need these kind of friends. We all need community. So in any case, I wanted to share this. And, you know, I've been, we have to be real. We have to just say, hey, I need this. Can we create something around this? Why not? Not everything is about, and I don't do this, look, I make my living out of doing what I love, and out of doing things out of service. So yes, it is my job, but it doesn't feel like work. It feels like this natural thing that I do. And if I have been gifted something that I can share with you guys and you need it, then the payments I get are energy exchanges, but that's not why I do it. Because I would probably, I can never, maybe my company would be a multi-million, and I want it to be a multi-million-dollar company, because that means I am reaching out to a lot of people throughout the world. But it's not about the money. It's so far beyond the money, because when you are visualizing something, the money is almost just a statement that you are doing something that is aligned with your purpose. And I know people are like, wow, I work really hard and don't make enough money and I'm always broke. But there is a lot of work that has to go into that. In fact, a lot of the events that I'm going to do as well are going to be about manifestation and alignment and actually creating wealth, because I had to rewire my relationship with wealth and with money from scratch. I grew up in a family that wanted money, that loved having money, that were desperate for it, in the sense that they were like, oh, money is needed, but they didn't appreciate it and were afraid that they wouldn't have it. And so there was this relationship that was very skewed with money, and I inherited that kind of messaging from all of my family. My mother, one of the reasons why we fell out is because all she talks about is money. All she talked about is money. And that fear of not having, even though she's always been catered for and looked after, she never struggled really. In comparison to many others, she never struggled. She never wanted for anything. She always had a roof over her head, food. She had the opportunity to be in places. But she didn't have a good relationship with money because she came from a family where they were working really hard, where the mentality is if you don't work hard you don't have any, and you have to work harder and harder and harder, and the money is really hard to make and it's really hard to get and there's not enough, blah 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 blah. My dad is obsessed with money, and when he has it, he just splurges it because he doesn't value it. I mean, I grew up with that, so I had to rewire my relationship because I was like, well, if I want money I'm greedy, and that's not true. If I have money, then oh my god, what kind of person am I had to rewire my brain. I do this subliminals every single day. I do journaling every single day. I visualize the version of me who is very wealthy, and with that wealth I am doing good things, and as a result, boom, I actually have an amazing manifestation story for you guys. Because I've been spending a lot of time in my office, I've been buying bottled water because I don't want to drink tap water. It's full of chlorine. I hate it. It's like city water. At the farm, we have our Wells water. We have a system that purifies. We have reverse osmosis in the kitchen. I mean, bliss, right? But in the office, I don't have that. And two things that really got to me: I'm using plastic, which because of BPA, a lot of endocrine disruptors. Yes, the water is better than the tap, but with the plastic, that's not really better. It's not better for the planet, so it's just a disaster. And I was looking for a solution. How do I get a reverse osmosis machine that can help me stay healthy, get water, and I basically called the company that came in, and they presented me with not only a reverse osmosis machine, but one that could do the hydrogen, which I don't believe is necessary. And I looked into it, and I was just like, I'm not bought into it. Okay, the Kangen water, not bought it. I didn't buy into it. I don't know why. It doesn't feel necessary. But I do like reverse osmosis for many things, and people are like, oh, but you remove all the minerals. Yes, but I eat a diet that is full of minerals. I'm not gonna be struggling just because it's not in water. I'm sorry. And also, you can remineralize the water. There are sachets or liquids that you can add in. It's fine if you really feel like you need to. But I don't, because I eat plants the whole freaking time, so I'm good. And I also take sea moss, Irish moss, sea moss, which is like, it's got 90 plus minerals out of the 110. So honestly, I'm fine, right? So I looked into it, and this company came over, and they really tried to sell me this machine, and they were like, it's 3,000 euro, and I'm like, freaking hell. But I didn't look at anything else, so I was like, okay, let me think about this. And they were really pushing, and they left. I'm like, I don't know, I have to think about this. I have to do a bit of research. And they were like, no, keep it here until tomorrow so you can use it and try it. I mean, I tried, it was fine, but but I said to them, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna take this, because then I started doing the research, and I saw that you can get machines that are brilliant, that are over the counter. I also looked at my friend at Eat Move Rest for their machine, and I was like, you can get this machine for under $500. Why on earth would I spend $3,000? It's crazy. I found one. She's got a 5 filtration system, which is really good. Then reverse osmosis, over the counter, no setup needed. Just put the water in the back, and it just filters, and then you take it out. Perfect. And it was 228 pounds. And I got it. I found it on Amazon Germany. It's a German company, and I was like, this is brilliant. When I saw it, I was like, okay, I want this. I had the money for it, but I was like, okay, let me just plan, because of course the things I always plan in advance. What am I paying for? I'm paying for my rent, for my expenses, everything, for my office, I mean. And then I am, as you know, an affiliate of a couple of brands, and I opened the account of a brand that I am an affiliate for, which is New Zest, and lo and behold, in that account there was £228, the exact amount I needed to buy that machine. Boom, done, got it. That is the kind of manifestation that I'm talking about. Like, I knew I was gonna get it. I knew that was the machine, and I knew I was gonna have the money, and I knew that I was gonna have the money that didn't feel like I was even spending the money. It was just like a normal transaction that was from one account into the machine would be mine. And it's exactly what happened. I knew that machine was mine. I knew I didn't have to spend my money from my account from it. I don't know if it makes sense, but it was money that wasn't even in my account. It was transferred after in my account to go into that purchase. It's like it was natural. So of course I didn't manifest it as it appeared, but actually in a way it did. Like, there was this natural, that's yours. And this is how I felt. Like, I knew that machine was mine. It was the exact amount of money that I had into my affiliate account to buy it, period. That's the kind of work I'm doing. That's the kind of magic that I'm doing. And I swear to God, I never believed into this stuff before until I started understanding that to make something happen, to make it materialize, you have to live it. You have to feel it. It's not about the thinking that will happen, it's about feeling that you have it already. And it happened. And so many things in my life are exactly like this. I am doing some work that I have visualized, the exact work that I wanted to do, the way that I was going to have my freedom and time balance and everything, boom, is happening. It is spectacular to have that kind of power, because it makes you feel very connected to the fact that we control time and space, because we are so multidimensional. And it's not just struggle, push, try to make it happen. It's nothing like that. It's just this natural thing. I'm gonna let you go because I've been speaking for half an hour and I wanted to do a longer video. But again, I want to teach all these things as I learn them, because I'm learning them in a way that they are truly applicable. They're not just waff theory. They are applicable. They are applicable in a special time of my life where I'm going through a lot of changes, where in the past I would have struggled, and I'm not. So I am feeling very blessed